going to change the shifter fluid on the 1990 Miata. The shift knob will not come off, it's too tight. Tried it without gloves, but I have the hair dryer trick. Some people said it works. We're gonna find out right now, so let's just give a little warmth here. And I have the gloves. When I touch the presumably hot shifter, I can grab it while it's still hot and try to work it loose. Okay, let's go. Wow, did that actually work? It did. You know what? I'll take it. Did not expect that to work. Okay. You learned something new. I learned something new. I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, let's continue on. I can actually get into this now. Take this whole plastic center console area out of the way. Get to the shifter fluid underneath. So as you can see, the rubber shift boot portion down here is torn. This piece here is supposed to be connected to here. This piece is also supposed to be connected to the rubber here. So we'll have to get a new one of those. I guess the upper shift boot portion is still intact. Even has this foam piece still in here, which still looks good after all these years. I'm very surprised. Be careful with that. And then in between the leather shift boot portion and this piece, you still had this piece, which is still intact. That's that in between the two. So very surprised again after 30 years, but 33 years now. This is in 1990, but I'll continue on, but I will have to get a new one of these before I go back together with everything, but I can still change the shifter fluid today. A little Vaseline works wonders. Put it on the shaft of the shifter. You can work this up and off. It's got a little plastic or nylon piece right around there. Not sure. Presumably the new assembly will come with that. If not, I could save that if I need to. So now that that's off, I can just take, there should be 3 bolts. Yep, take these 3 bolts loose, and this should pop out of place. And it's crazy that you can see the drive shaft actually right there. And then the power plant frame running along the passenger side of the transmission. Got the shifter out. The nylon piece on the end. No cracks that I can see. I'll try to focus on it. Flash is kind of washing it out, but it looks to be intact. Although this piece had the rubber is old and hard. That goes just above the ball. So I would like to get I guess some sort of shifter rebuild kit so I can replace that. And then the fluid. It's hard to tell. It's a little bit of a murky brown. So we'll get that out of there and look at it in a clear water bottle, get a better idea, but good thing we're changing it out. And then we can change all of these worn out parts as well, because they were definitely due to be changed out. So I got as much of the old shifter fluid out of there as I could. Nice and cleaned up. Unfortunately though, when I look in the owner's manual, under capacities, transmission oil is just for the drain and fill I did on the transmission, 2.1 quarts, but since this is a separate reservoir, separate housing, all I can do is take note of how much fluid I pulled out, and since I still have some leftover new manual training fluid this was from my red Miata, my 92, when I did the drain and fill. Still have a little bit left, so hopefully that level would equal this level. So I will pour the old fluid into my empty container and then see if they match up. on the levels, since you have a sight line on the sides. And if that's enough, I can add the new fluid in, and then wait on the shifter rebuild kit to come in. So just for good measure, I'm going to add in new fluid. I have the same amount as what I took out, plus just a scotch more, just to be on the safe side. I figure better to have a little bit more, slightly more than slightly less. So add this in, and then while I'm waiting for the shifter rebuild kit, I'll just put some electrical tape over the open hole here so that no dirt or debris can get in there. Just like that, some new fluid is in there. We'll let this drain out a bit. I realize now if I ever go to sell this Miata, I may never get back into one for any sort of good deal, because these NAs are getting older and older and harder to find a good mileage. Mine has 92,425 miles as of this video. So, and it's a blue, and I just figured out it has an OEM hardtop. All good things if I ever do decide to sell, but until now, it's still mine. Okay, that should do nicely. And then now I can wipe up a little dirt and debris from the surrounding area up here without fear of actually knocking any down into there. The new kit is here, arrived way faster than in the mail than I thought, and I'm going to see about machining a brass bushing in my shop. Stay tuned for that video, coming out maybe in a couple days or next week. But all the rest of the pieces of the kit are here, including that little piece in there that goes into the ball part of the shifter shaft. A new one of these with the new rubber insert. And of course the shift boot. A little foam gasket around. So new parts, just gonna see if I can machine a brass bushing, put it all back together.